Hello, 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 everybody out there. I am hoping a lot of you are joining our group today. And before we start, let's click the bell that you can follow our lovely, lovely podcast every week. So every week there's coming new golden nuggets for you here. And we are all an amazing group over whole of the world. We are coaches, moms, light workers, and we are really beautiful women also, and we are doing great stuff together. We are masterminding, we are meeting every week, we are helping each other. So what do you think about that? Leave a comment. Got sheet and paper and pencil that you can write down the things you become aware of, because that's what we want to do for you, to become more awareness about that, what you really want in your life and how do you get it. Yes. And today we have the topic of do you first have to heal before you can have success? I think that's a great topic for today. And while I'm talking right now over a minute, who wanna be the next? Go on, guys. Don't be shy.
Everybody
Okay.
wants to speak. I can start. I really, I really have no idea. I am trying. I was trying. I will be trying to do some things, and I know that when I don't heal several things, I have difficulties to be successful, and it's on many areas. It's of course business area, but it's also on the area of intimate relationship, and also on the area of parenthood, motherhood. And I know that the kids are a very good example. When I'm healing another levels of myself, of my consciousness and my personality, I see how my relationship with my kids is changing and how better is getting. And it's really impressive. Of course, you can be a parent, and of course, you can be a business person, and you can be a spouse or a husband or wife or whoever without healing. You can be, but I think that healing makes you more perfect, and you can not only be perfect just for being perfect. It's also giving much more satisfaction when you are healed. A lot of joy, a lot of satisfaction that you do things well, and you are starting to create, and this is so amazing.
Yeah, great. Big insight. So while you were talking, Camilla, I was thinking about because I love, as you know, all, I love to ask questions. And what the question was coming up to me was, what is healing? So if I have pain on my back, so healing is when the pain is gone or something like that. And as we all know, and Brie is a light worker working with energy. So, and for me, my somehow healing journey starts in 1998. So I'm on my path over 20 years right now. And for me, somehow also healing is to become more aware of the things maybe that happen to you. For me, it's not necessary. There are workers outside and they can help you somehow with everything without going into the stories anymore. And maybe we are so unique that everybody from us needs someone else, something else for healing. So, and for me it is really somehow to not go so much in the story, but really become aware about the stories there are in my life, and somehow to heal them, to give myself love, and even while I'm right now in this program, give myself compassion. And while I'm doing this, I'm feeling somehow that even in the digestive, even the body is healing. Yeah, it's not only psycho thing of myself or the soul or whatever. It's also the body, and I feel more more bigger also, and more aligned, and my spine is going up, and I'm feeling much more joy and fun. So, and that's very interesting. Who else want to say something about that?
Mm.
I think Arta, you wanted to go. You wanted to say something. Nobody wants.
Well, I just wanted to say that for me, I think what the he because Michaela was asking what is healing, and for me, what comes up is that it's this transition from no longer taking fear-based decisions, because I think I somehow feel it that it comes back to fear, because we have been conditioning. So me, it's like I'm unconditioning myself from these fear-based decisions that I have observed around me, I guess, when I was growing up, and sort of moving away from that. And that's not always easy. There's so many different situations in life. There's like when you're posting, I help myself and my clients with authentic self-expression, even small things like that. You're like, you're posting this vulnerable thing, and you don't let the fear stop you from posting it. And then you feel like you want to hide and run away, and close your computer because you feel this vulnerability. And then in these kind of smaller moments when I face it, and that's for me is healing. Like that's how I experience the healing. So yes, self-love, yes, self-acceptance, compassion, and I think that, well, I don't like anything to do with perfectionism. That's why I always say to my clients, you don't have to be perfectly healed. You don't have to be like all together to do what you love to do. You can be just a normal human being on a journey of healing and still do all the things you want to do, right? Because I just don't believe in such perfection that we are now healed and perfect and whole and we don't need any work on ourselves. I don't think it even exists. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's just a part of life, this healing process,
Would you
ongoingly
say
somehow.
would you say, Arta, that through you doing it's somehow a healing, when you even notice after you're doing something and everything is fine, that you have this more experience than showing your vulnerability and coming more healed because you are getting aware more and more, nothing bad is happening then?
Yeah, of course, yes, because as you make those brave steps and as you are honest with yourself, um, honest and loving, then you notice, oh, actually, I'm making really nice progress this way, small steps, and there's no danger.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Arlette,
what you said, Arta, it's a continuous process and it never ends, basically. It's we will do that until the end of our lives. So I think it's definitely enough to go to a certain level of healing. If you have to heal something, it's enough to do a little bit or something, and then continue or not, but to do your stuff, to do what you want to do.
while you were talking, there's coming another question, as you know. So, the coming the question, what is about allowing myself to have success and think I deserve these things? Do you think that have something to do with healing?
Oh, long way.
I think I think that when you are carrying anger and resentment, you're acting from pain. And you're healed when you are carrying compassion for yourself and for others, compassion and love. So I think when we manage to bring ourselves to this state of mind that really requires work, requires a lot of self-respect, reflection, requires a lot of self-honesty, requires to visit all the side in us that we don't want to visit, because it's maybe it's the ego, maybe it's control, maybe it's rejection, maybe it's an insecurity, maybe it's a false beliefs that you have, or it could be also something that really hurts you or upsets you that you need to pay attention to. But no matter what it is, and no matter what is happening in outside of us and outside the circumstances of us, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with us, because ultimately what is important is the relationship that we have with ourselves. Because because when you have a healthy relationship with yourself, it means that you are healing, and that takes time, and everybody has this their own process. You can't push anybody to go through this process. You have to respect that people have their own processes, their own time to go through this. But when you are carrying resentment and anger, it weighs you down. It's because of what Arta was saying, because you realize that most of your decisions are also fear based, fear of something, and that's what's holding you back. And fear is just an illusion. Fear of how an outcome should be, how you are expecting certain thing to be. But when you are releasing all control, you are releasing all expectations, how something should come to you. That's for me healing, because in your mind you might have a certain perception of how something should come to you, and then you won't be able to see when things are happening, because you're so stuck in your head how something should come to you, and that you are holding on to control, you're holding on to expectations. But when you train yourself to really release anger, release resentment, invite compassion, trust life and its flow, and that you are in the flow of life, like you are everything, in the belief that what's yours is yours, and in the belief that everything happens for your higher self. Everything happens because you cannot push things. You have to trust and believe and tap into your heart space and see what you really want in your life. What do you have? Keep your heart open, and then you see this energetic shift that is unbelievable, because suddenly, because you feel light, like a weight has left you, and suddenly you see things are happening, like in your job, in your, because we do block ourselves without even realizing it, and we go through phases that we think that by, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing, why nothing is moving, why not? And then you realize that you have blocked yourself in so many ways, but your attention is not there, attention is somewhere else. But the minute that you start to really open your heart, to really see what you want to feel, have, and to get rid of all the nonsense, anger, resentment, fear, and choose to believe and to trust in the flow of life, to believe and trust that everything is going to work out, everything's just getting on that flow, trust, believe, faith. And then you see that things are moving in your life. New opportunities, people, and you don't understand how, because you haven't really done any major changes, but the changes internally, which is really manifesting in your real world, in your physical world. So for me, this is healing, just to make sure that every time I think about something and I still have that feeling in my stomach, not to ignore that feeling, to stay with that feeling and just to ask for help and say, okay, I'm still feeling something. What am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to learn? There is still something for me to learn. It means there is something for me to heal. And the answers and what I meant to know, and what I need to hear will come. It's about really trusting yourself, and really, really, really starting to really to love yourself. to give that compassion to yourself, because that ultimately will make a huge shift in anyone's life, because we think we love ourselves because we do things like that, but then you realize along the way, like, how much you've tolerated. Why have you done this to yourself? Why did you put up with this? Why? And then you realize that you have done all these things because you haven't really taken good care of yourself. All you did was to take care of other people and their needs, and then you ignore your. But you don't understand this while you are in the process. It comes with time and the circumstances
My
in
goodness, what a great speech. Beautiful. Thank you, Arlette. That was really amazing. My goodness. So, and while you were talking, they're coming the next question, and a short
But
one.
before you
Yes.
ask the question, I want to say something that really stuck out for me, Arlette. You were saying we want to get rid of resentment and anger, and this might be controversial or you might agree with me, I don't know. But I would say no, you don't want to get rid of that, because those are a natural part of being human. And we can use those feelings to our advantage in saying, hey, there's something here that I need to look at. It gets you back on the path and redirects you to that place of balance and harmony again. Anger is a natural emotion of the liver energy in Chinese medicine. So all of our organs have emotions that they kind of oversee, like the kidneys are fear and the lungs are grief and the spleen is worry. And so liver and anger is a natural emotion. And the when it becomes problematic is when it's out of balance and that energy isn't moving properly through the body. So when it starts to get backed up is when we start to feel that anger, that energy, that vitality, that life force, that chi isn't moving through you. And that's, I think, a really big indicator. But I think I want to just, you know, raise a flag here and say, let's be careful, because we don't want to deny ourselves anything that we're feeling, because then we're denying who we are. And we want to embrace all aspects of who we are and love all aspects of who we are. The anger is there to show us where we are out of harmony, where we are disconnected, where our life force isn't moving. That fear is there to show us where we're holding back, where that life force isn't moving. That worry is there to show us where our life force isn't moving. Okay, and then it can show up in so many different ways, affecting the physical body and health. You could have the back pain, knee pain, digestive problems, a chronic cough because you've had long-term grief. Okay, so they're integral. And I know it, and so I just want to say that we have a tendency to want to deny that part of ourselves because it doesn't feel comfortable. And we need to cultivate, in my mind, the healing is in cultivating being okay with who you are and loving all aspects of yourself. And we don't need to wait for that to happen to achieve any sort of success. The success is being yourself.
Mm. That's what self-compassion is, isn't it? Accepting the fact of whatever you're feeling, all your big emotions, negative emotions, your emotions that feel uncomfortable, they are there for a reason, because they're showing you something that you need to process.
They are the indicators for
They are
sure.
the indicators.
Very much as a negotiator practice, it was showing me simply what's going on there. When I don't understand something in my mind, the emotions were always perfectly showing that something needs to take more of my attention, and I should look at. And the anger itself is showing us where our borders simply. And if we listen to our anger and we respect our anger, we can simply easily see where our own borders are. And if we defend our borders, we don't get angry. It's simple as well. And if we get ashamed, it's also an indication of something. But in case of shame, I would ask if it's a matter of what we were taught or of what we think about ourselves as well.
How beautiful. So, thank you, Brie, for jumping in. So, I don't want to say so much at least. So because we're coming to an end, what I get out of this, all what you were telling, it's so amazing stuff here. I hope you write it all down out there, because there are so many golden nuggets in, and you can watch the replay and then show us that you watched the replay and what you think about all this, what we were talking about. It would be so nice that when you're getting aware of something, you can write it in the comments, and even come together and talk about these topics with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, whatever, and share this video with people where you think they can get so much out of it. And my last word should be somehow, it's coming back when I'm noticing what you're all talking about. It's come back to the awareness. For me, it's the biggest key of ever. Become this awareness about yourself, and don't hurry up and do everything you think people want from you to do. Hold on and breath, and be aware of yourself, and become aware of where you are right now, because every time is here and now. There's no future, there's no past, and we every one of us is only here and now. So have a great week, and leave a comment, click the bell, and we all wish you a healthy, successful, happy, joyful week. And we see us soon next week on Monday, live here with another great topic and golden nuggets in it. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.